Today, we're talking about AI, but maybe not in the way you think. We're looking at how it's becoming this absolute secret weapon for one of the fastest growing groups in the economy, women entrepreneurs. So if you're looking for a way to scale your business, get a real competitive edge, and actually save time, you're gonna wanna stick around for this. Okay, so first, let's just set the stage here because what's happening in entrepreneurship right now is, well, it's a full blown revolution. We're in a new era for business, and it's an era being defined and driven by women. The numbers behind this are just, they're staggering. They tell this amazing story of momentum. So get this, 49%. What is that? Well, in 2024, women are founding nearly half of all new businesses. Just let that sink in for a second. And to put that into perspective, just 5 years ago, back in 2019, that number was only 29%. That's a massive surge. We're talking about an absolute explosion of innovation. But, and there's always a but, with all this success comes one huge shared challenge. And that challenge, the one that comes up over and over and over again, it's time. It's the one thing you can't buy more of, right? It's the most precious resource for any founder. But all the data shows it's an even bigger pressure point for women in business. Which brings us to what you could call the time scarcity trap. It's this idea that, yeah, everyone's short on time, but there's a new tech shift happening that's creating this widening gap. A gap between the people who can basically multiply their time and those who can't. So let's break this down, because the numbers here are pretty eye-opening. A whopping 90% of entrepreneurs say time management is their single biggest hurdle. But for female founders, the pressure is often compounded. The data shows they're 56% more likely to also be providing family care while building a company. So, when you see a number like 38% struggling with work-life balance, that's not just a statistic. That is the daily reality of juggling a million different things. And this is where that risk of falling behind starts to feel really, really real. And this is creating a whole new competitive landscape. Research from Harvard Business School has actually found a gender gap in AI adoption. Women are adopting these incredible time-saving tools at a rate that's about 25% lower than men. So what does that mean? It means while you might be stuck doing things manually, your competitors could be automating them, moving faster, and pouring all that saved time back into growth. Look, this isn't about some sci-fi technology that's coming in 10 years. This is happening right now. The businesses that are weaving AI into their operations are already pulling ahead. The message is crystal clear. You either act now or you really do risk falling behind. Okay, but here's the pivot. Here's the good news. That same technology that feels like a risk, it's also your single biggest opportunity. AI is the secret weapon. It's the tool that directly attacks that number one challenge. Time. It's the key to getting your most valuable asset back. So let me just ask you this straight up. What would you do with an extra 6 hours every single week? Because that's the average amount of time entrepreneurs using AI say they're saving. Think about it. That's time you could put back into big picture strategy, innovation, or honestly, just into yourself to avoid burning out. And it's not just about clawing back hours. It's about making the time you do spend working way more powerful. Research from McKinsey shows that businesses using AI get an average efficiency boost of 20 to 30%. I mean, that's huge. It means you're doing more with less effort and getting better results. And you know what the best part is? You don't need a giant budget or a computer science degree to get started. Not at all. Here's what we'll call your zero-budget AI starter stack. You've got things like Claude AI to help with writing and research. Canva, which you probably already use, has amazing AI design tools. And Zapier can automate all those boring, repetitive tasks between your apps. And listen to this. Every single one has a really solid free version, so you can jump in and start playing around with absolutely zero risk. Okay, so theory is one thing, right? But let's look at some real world proof. Some of the most successful female founders out there aren't just dabbling in AI, they're building their entire company's strategy around it. And this quote from Jennifer Hyman, the founder of Rent the Runway, wow. It's pretty blunt, but it just perfectly captures what's at stake here. She sees this as a massive turning point, on the same level as the launch of the iPhone. For her, it's simple. You're either going to benefit from AI or you're going to be made obsolete by it. And she didn't just talk the talk. Rent the Runway was struggling big time after the pandemic. So what did she do? She built their entire recovery strategy around AI. They rolled out AI-powered search, personalized recommendations, the whole 9 yards. And the result? Their stock quadrupled in 1 week after they made these announcements. One analyst even called them the poster girl for AI in business. It's an incredible turnaround story. And it's not just for e-commerce either. Look at Whitney Wolfe Herd at Bumble. She's woven AI into the very core of their mission, which is all about creating a safer, better experience for women. They have this thing called the private detector. It's AI that automatically finds and blurs lewd images with 99% accuracy. They also use AI to hunt down fake profiles and scammers. It's just a perfect example of using this tech to solve a real core problem for your customers. All right, so we've seen the why and the what. Now let's get to the how. I know seeing these huge case studies can feel a little intimidating, but your journey with AI doesn't have to be some massive, complicated thing. It can start with one simple, focused step. There's this really brilliant framework for getting started called the crawl method. It's a super simple 3-step plan for your first 4 weeks. Step 1, just assess. Take a look at your week and figure out where your time is actually going. Step 2, identify your top 3 time-draining tasks. You know the ones you dread. And then step 3, define a clear, measurable goal. Don't try to boil the ocean. Just pick one thing. Maybe it's, I want to cut down my email time by half, or I want to draft my social media posts in minutes, not hours. The key is to start small and super targeted. And when you start small like that, the results start to compound fast. Remember that 6 hours a week we talked about? Well, over a year, that adds up to this: 310 hours. That is nearly 8 full 40-hour work weeks. It's like getting a 2-month vacation from your most tedious tasks. So we'll leave you with this question. What would you do with an extra 310 hours a year? Seriously, think about it. If you had an extra 8 weeks handed back to you, what new product would you launch? What new market would you go after? Or heck, what vacation would you finally take for yourself? The tools to make that happen are here, and they're more accessible than they have ever been. So the only real question left is, when are you going to start?